The next important dimension of an indicator is the baseline value. This tells us what the situation is before our intervention starts. The baseline does not change during implementation. You should set the baseline as close to the start of the intervention as possible, but of course we recognize that it might not always be possible to do that, so you pick the time which is close to when the project or your intervention starts, and that's your baseline. You should state the period when that baseline comes from. The indicator baseline and target should be coherent. That sounds evident, yeah, but it's like you don't say percentage of women trained and then your baseline is like 15, and then that your target is enhanced skills and capacities. That doesn't make sense, but sometimes it happens. So the indicator, the baseline, and the target should be coherent. You should also take into account how often you can get the data to track the progress before you pick it. So you don't pick a census, for example, because that's only done once every 10 years. So you probably don't want that. And in your baseline, if possible, include disaggregated data as relevant. Okay. So what happens if you've got no baseline? You can't get the data. If you don't set your baseline, you can't report on your results. No baseline, no results. It's really that simple. Now, I know that sometimes you need to put a 0 in there because, especially for outputs, you're putting in place things which weren't there before. So for the baseline, you can talk about 0, like kilometers of reconstructed roads. Before we did the project, there was no reconstructed roads in this area, and at the target value, there you go. You can put 0 in because the target will be like, I don't know, 75. Yeah, so that's pretty simple. But you still have to state 0 because there could be somewhere else a bit of reconstructed road. Yeah, but you still have to state that it's a 0 or it's 5 or whatever. Then you know where you're starting to measure from. Yeah. But in the case of outcomes in particular, yeah, where we're talking about change state, you have to make it clear that this is the situation that we are at the start of our intervention, because only then can we then assess the scale of the change that our intervention has achieved thanks to what we've done. And this is crucial. So 0 baselines for outcomes are basically not really feasible. You need to think about what the state of play is in your target groups prior to your intervention starting. I can't emphasize that point strongly enough.